Yep, this deck still absolutely gets wrecked by Mirage. Howdy everybody, Dane here, and today we're going back for an old school yap. We're going to do a bit of a speed run on a D-Brigade list that I've been playing and really enjoying, and it feels way nice again to have a set of kind of pseudo new cards, not specifically for the deck, but cards that work pretty darn well with it. I'm of course talking about the newest LM set, which has given us Scrambles and a new ace to work with the deck. So strap in. I'm going to make this as fast as possible for you while we commit incomprehensible violence upon our opponents. Okay, so hopefully the glare isn't horrific. I've been trying some new things, but basically, there's not a hell of a lot that's new for D-Brigade. Same old for Missimon. If you played the deck, you know why it's there. We just want to recycle bits and pieces. Then we got the 4 of the best boy. Great. He's very nice. He does a big search and gets me everything I need when I need it. Just as importantly, we do have the Commandramon, who is a fun little dude, keeps recycling himself. I also forget to mention the inheritable, which is better than ever. And then 4 of the +1 KDP buff Commandramon. This dude's sick as well. He's a cool little guy. Not really anything crazy here. This is just pretty much standard. 4 of the Hi-Commandramon. This guy will allow you to play out more of these dudes. Great, that's all we ask. 3 of the Sealsdramon. We're going to start going a little bit vertically here instead, because this guy is here to just recycle your deck. You will get to a point where you just have too many cards, flying into your trash, and you got to put 3 of those back on there every so often. We got 3 of the Numemon. Cool. He plays out the Satsuki. What more do you want from him? He's a nice little cheeky rushing body. Tankdramon at 2 now. Okay, so here's where things start to get a little bit interesting. So, this is a terrible bit of glare right here, but you know it's Tankdramon. I know it's Tankdramon. That's all that matters. Tankdramon is a phenomenal card. I absolutely adore this guy. He is able to, reduce your opponent's play cost by 3, and then when you go into pop something, level 4, and then when you go into your Brigadramon, you're able to basically just, pop 7 cost worth, and if things are 0, then you can start popping them as well, without, adding to that cost. Great. I don't really have a problem with this guy, and honestly, I'm finding it hard to, so we'll keep moving, and we'll talk about it in a second, but we got 3 of the Cargodramon, and 2 of the newest Cyberdramon. So here's the thing, we're still only running 7 level 5s. My problem here is figuring out where I want to put the ratios, whether or not I just want to have 2 Cargodramon and 3 Tankdramon, but this guy sitting pretty at 2 is fantastic. Basically, if you don't know what the new Cyberdramon from the LM set does, he will reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, you may play a Black Tamer card, with a play cost of 4 or less, and then you get to return the rest to the top or bottom of the deck, so that also helps with your game plan of, we're constantly playing things off of the top of our deck. The knowledge is fantastic to have. And then, if you have a Tamer, Digi Evolve 1. So, this is fantastic. This, for me, personally, does a lot more than what this guy does, kind of proactively. More importantly, is this guy has, when attacking, Digi Evolve 1. This alone, again, it's really easy for us to get, Commandramon out on the field so that we can get our Tankdramon's, all turns effect off. But, again, being proactive when attacking Digi-Evolve 1 feels a little bit better right now. It's kind of nice to just be able to, Digi-Evolve something. It's, walk over it with Alliance. Yeah, you don't have to, trigger that. It's nice to be able to interrupt people in their turns. But sometimes, when you're able to be proactive, it's awesome. It's a 5 cost, which is a little bit more than things like Zudamon, which is, funny, but, it's kind of deserved, to be honest. You can on-play, get a 4 cost Tamer out, and Digi-Evolve something, so I think it's, it's kind of reasonable to be at a 5 cost. Moving on now, we are going to go 4 into the level 6s. 4 of our boy, just mucking up how we want to have this, 4 of our boy Brigade. Nothing changes for this guy. He is phenomenal, creates more bodies over and over again. He's super block heavy, and he can just pop something on the field. Something I just thought of too, that I didn't think of, is this card as an ace is really nice to have under things like this as well, and, just even on its own, specifically because the protection will keep this pretty safe. It's pretty hard to out a Brigadramon. And then just following up, we got 2 of the new Black ShadowSeraphimon Ace, which is, holy moly, this card puts in work. This card is essentially, hey, you know, we used Brigadramon. Brigadramon played out Cargo. Cargo played out a couple more little dudes. Awesome. Now we have a level 5 that's sitting on board and is ready to ace into something that will block, Digivolve, -5, and we'll have, like, you know, this guy will have played out a Hi-Commandramon, for example, who can also play us a Cyberdramon, or Digivolve into a Cyberdramon when your opponent attacks, play out a Tamer, Digivolve him again. It's a lot, and it's really, really cool to just, you know, put your opponent on those angles. The only problem here is that, you know, the more of these kind of outside of the D-Brigade Digipolice trait that you decide to run, the less likely you are going to have a, you know, I don't want to say be lucky, because the point of this deck is to not be lucky. You don't want to be hoping for the best when you reveal top 3, play out a Digimon. You want to know what's going to happen. But sometimes you do have to be a bit lucky, and God forbid you want to be a little bit lucky and find a ShadowSeraphimon, a Cyberdramon Ace. It would be and is what it is kind of moment. But let's keep moving on. We have 2 of the Shuu Yulin. Fantastic card, even better now that we're able to play it out for free. I was pretty much ready to cut this because she's great, but getting her on the field is the hardest part, because when you're using your Brigadramon, you really have to choose between playing out more bodies, which is always like the best, or playing a Tamer. And sometimes playing a Tamer is worth it, but a lot of time it wasn't. So I would choose to do, like, you know, 2 bodies, 1 of this dude, a Numemon that will spit out a Satsuki anyway. Speaking of, we got 3 Satsuki. Wow, that glare is crazy. Jeez Louise. Yeah, we got 3 of the Satsuki. They're all the Altard, in case you were wondering. I love this deck. Hold this up to the camera for a little bit here for you. Man, that's a horrible glare. Yeah, 3 Satsuki. This card is pretty cracked. It's nice to be able to jamming with all of these little dudes, keep them on the board, because that means that it's something that your opponent actually has to deal with. Then we just go straight on to the rest of the deck. It's pretty standard if you've watched any of my other videos. 4 trainings. I absolutely love the trainings in this deck. It's a card that you can just sit in raising for a little bit and then boost out. Last thing I want players to be doing ever is to go Hi-Commandramon on turn 2, swing, it dies, your tempo is off, and then the game is over for you at that point. And to follow up on the training, we have 3 of the newest Metropolitan Police Department. So this card is reveal top 3, take 1, put the last 2 back on top of the deck, and then you're able to main, delay, reveal top 3, play out a 4 cost or less, D-Brigade specifically, and it's so good. It's like this card continues to really, really help me max out on tempo, not only for, you know, say you've played this in your first turn, and then you Digivolve into this on your second. If you crack this, play something out, and you have the inheritable to defend yourself, like protect him, you know, with the Commandramon. If this guy dies in security, so what? Now we just pop a Commandramon, keep him alive, keep moving. Last 2, well, not quite last 2 options. We got 2 of the Scrambles, and the last is a DCD bomb. I will just, like, DCD bomb, I would love to have back at 2. Kind of hard to find the space. This deck is incredibly difficult to find space for. Post-edit Dane here. Honestly, just cut the DCD bomb. Chuck in one of our favorite boy, Quartzmon, because we just want to see this one time as a game ender. You're going to have so many bodies on field that your opponent is going to trash probably at least 2 security when you do it. It'll be roughly free. And this card is really good at just a one-off, just again, end the game. There's nothing much more to him. I love him, and I should have just chucked that in the first place. I've been having much more success with this than I have with just the one-off DCD bomb. Like, yeah, it's cool. Chuck in Quartzmon. But the Black Scramble is it's a real nice addition to the deck. Just to make it super, super quick for you. Again, main, one of your black Digimon digivolves into a black Digimon for the cost reduced by 3, which means that you can digivolve from your level 4s into your level 5s for 2, kind of like Protoform, which is great in any deck, awesome. But for this deck specifically, more importantly, start of your turn, If your opponent has a Digimon delay, return 1 black Digimon card from your trash to the top of the deck. Then, if you have a Digimon, you may play 1 black Digimon card with 2k or less from your trash without paying the cost. So, whew, that's a lot of text, right? Let me break it down for you real simple.
No way, he's doing it.
I got nothing in my hand.
Oh.
Nice. You Digivolve, you into a level 5, great. This goes into your delay area like a training would. Awesome. Now, say your opponent absolutely obliterates your board. They hit you with the Death X, the game feels over. Now, we can go crack this at the start of our turn before we draw. So we're able to, start of turn, we can put a Brigadramon that we milled and we've really needed for the entire game back on the top of the deck, or even ShadowSeraphimon, any card we can put onto the top of the deck. And then we are playing out a Digimon from the trash. So our Numemon now hits the board. He gets to use his on-play effects because he's 2k, awesome. If you don't want to play Numemon out, you can play out any one of your, your level 3s, which is great. It gets you started again. This one will trigger his on-play to search. This guy's going to pull a Satsuki underneath, and then we're just going to get to swinging. Awesome. This card is just a fundamentally fantastic tempo. I don't know, like engine. I don't want to say engine, but it's so amazing to be able to be like, hey, you've obliterated my board, but I can still be in the game. More importantly for me personally, as somebody who always mills brigades, is just being able to put this back on the top of my deck. I will crack this even if I have a board full of Digimon, just so that I can get a brigade. Because sometimes this deck's greatest weakness is just not finding a Brigadramon. And I hate that shit. I'm going to move this just a little bit to the side again for you, just so that you know that these are Satsukis, because I can just see how bad that that glare is. And I guess the only other thing I wanted to really quickly talk about is that Chaosmon, man, I really wanted this deck card to work so badly with the new ShadowSeraphimon, but it sucks. It sucks ass. It's too slow. No decks are big enough in terms of, you want to be able to D-Digivolve 3 on this guy and then D-Digivolve another 3 and then trash 1 security at the end of your opponent's turn. It's just not good enough, unfortunately. I've tried and tried and tried to make it work. I had it at 2. It's just not good enough anymore. Yeah. If you've got any other fun cards, let me know, because I am always looking to cook with this deck. Thanks for watching. This is a very, very fast little deck profile. As somebody who genuinely loves D-Brigade, I hope you enjoy playing it yourself, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!